now it's time to discuss about the summary. We have discussed so many things in C Sharp, and you can get all the code in this video description so that you can copy that code in, you can practice by yourself. And also in this video, I'm going to discuss about the what we are going to learn in next video series. So let's start. In first video series, we have discussed about how you can install the Visual Studio Code and how to choose the console applications. And after that, we have discussed about the how to print the hello world program in C Sharp. And then we have discussed about the comments. Comments means that it won't execute the code. It won't execute. So it is used for to describe the code or to make the documents. And next topic is variables. It is used to store the value. It's like the container, and it is used to store the value temporarily during the execution of the program. And next topic is data types. It means if we create any variables, then we must have to assign the specific data types like integer, character, boolean, float, double, long double. And typecasting, it means we have already discussed about the implicit typecasting and explicit typecasting. So implicit means you can convert the data type from the character into integer, into float, into long, into double. And then if you want to convert it from the reverse side, then it is known as the explicit typecasting. And we have also discussed about the taking user from the input. So we have already discussed detail about the taking user input. And then operator like arithmetic operator, logical operator, and then assignment operator, and so many operators are there, and we have discussed some of them. And math functions, there is a max function, mean function, average function, ceil function, count function. And another topic is the string and string interpolation. So we used to string in using the double quotation, and we can use the string interpolation concepts using the $sign and the double quotations and curly braces. And after that, we have discussed about the indexing. Indexing means we are accessing the value from the string. And as we know that indexing of the string and array start from the 0. And we can access the indexing using the index8 keyword, index8 function, index of functions, and the big bracket. And we can use the variables name in the big bracket. Inside the big bracket, we can give the index of the string. And after that, we have discussed about this decision control. It means that if statement, if else statement, else if statement, and how does it works, and what is the syntax of the if statement, and then other things also. And after that, switch statement, it is used to always take the integer value. So as we discussed about that, the days in a week and in a month, in a year, and so many things, that value have the that value always remains constant, or you can say always remains same. So in that case, we can use this switch statement. It always display the integer value. And after that, we have discussed about the loop. It means that the for loop, while loop, and do while loop. And also we have seen the syntax and examples of the different types of loop. And also we discussed about the break and continue keyword. Break means it halt the program, it stop the execution of the program, but continue, it escape the program if the condition is matched. And after that, we have discussed about the functions. And when discussing about the function, that we have discussed about the function, and if you want to print the thousands line of code, then you can make one function and you can call that function. So we have discussed about the functions, function parameter, return type, access specifier, and many more. And after that, we have just talked about the array. It means it used to store the multiple value of the same data type. And after that, we have discussed the very important topic, that is class and objects. The class means it's a simply blueprint, and it doesn't take any memory. But objects is the instance of class, and it is a memory block, and it contains the methods and the fields. And after that, we have discussed about the constructor. And as you know that the constructor name must be same as class name, and it doesn't have any return type, and it has the default access modifier as public. And after that, access modifiers, that is public, private, and protected. And we have discussed all of this. And after that, properties. And if you want to access the private properties of the class, then we can make the properties and we can access that. And after that, we have discussed about the inheritance. Inheritance means we are accessing the properties, or you can say the methods and field from the base class into the derived class using the concept of inheritance. And also we have discussed about the sealed class. It means that if we want to restrict our properties from the class, then we can use the sealed keyword. It means that we cannot inherit the properties of that class. And after that, we have discussed about the polymorphism. It means that many form it, and we have discussed about the method overloading and the method overriding are the examples of the polymorphisms. And method overloading means same name but different signature, or different parameters. And after that, we have discussed about the abstract class. It means that we have already predefined some functionalities in the base class, and we cannot create the object of that class. We can just have to implement that class. And inside the abstract class, there may be the abstract method or non-abstract method. But if there is a method is abstract, then class must be abstract. And also we have discussed about the interface, especially interface used to implement the multiple inheritance, because in C Sharp, it doesn't support the multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance means if we are accessing the properties from the two or more classes into one class, that is known as the concept of the multiple inheritance. And using the concept of interface, we can implement the multiple inheritance. And after that, we have discussed about the enum. And if enum means the numeric value, or you can say the specific value that never gonna change, like the male gender. If I make the one enum that is gender, then it has the male, females, and others. And if I take an example of the days in a week, then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, this never gonna change. Then we can create the enum and we can use it. So if we talk about the risk grade factor like high, medium, low, if this value never gonna change, then we can make it as a enum value. And after that, we have discussed about the file class, and using the file class, we can create the path of the file, we can create the file, we can delete the file, we can modify the file, we can check if their file exists or not. And after that, we have discussed about the exception handling. It means that we have used the try keyword, catch keyword, otherwise you can say try block, catch block, and the throw block, and then the finally block and try block is used to source if there is any exception or not. And the catch block is used to display the message, and throw block is always throw the exception. And finally block always run whether there is exception or not. And after that, we have used that custom exception also. If you want to give any message by ourselves, then we can create the custom exception also. And we have discussed all the checked and unchecked keyword. If there is a automatic overflow exception, then we can control it by using the checked keyword. If we put our code inside the checked block, then it will stop, or you can say it will restrict the exception of overflow exception. So we have discussed about using the maximum value of integer value. And then we have also discussed about the delegates. It is used to store the reference of the method. And if we store the more than two method reference, then it is known as the multicast delegates. And after that, finally, we have discussed about the anonymous function. This function doesn't have any name, and you cannot call this function. And this function is also known as the inline function. So this was the topic we have discussed in this video series. So after that, what next? Or what we are going to discuss in next video series. So first of all, let's understand about the one important topics, or you can say the concepts, one important concepts, that is full stack developer. Full stack developer means if you have the knowledge in the front end, and if you have the knowledge in the back end, and if you have the knowledge in the database, then you can be a full stack developer. And we are making all of these courses to become the full stack developer. So first of all, we have already discussed about the C# video course. So if you get any confusion regarding C#, and if you are new to the program, then you can start it from the scratch. And we have discussed about the C# programming language from the scratch. So you can start C# programming language. And after that, we'll discuss about the front-end development part, that is HTML, CSS, and Bootstrap. Bootstrap is the C# framework. And also we are going to discuss about the JavaScript. And after completion of the front-end part, we are going to start the database part also. And inside the database, I'm going to discuss about the SQL Server, that is database management system. And it is also especially known as the relational database management system. And if you want to be a front-end developer, then you can watch the only front-end part course. And if you want to be a back-end developer, then you can watch the C# course. And we're going to discuss about the ASP.NET API course also. So you can watch that course only. And if you want to be a database developer, then you can watch the SQL Server course only. So after completion of this all course, so first of all, we'll discuss about the HTML part, the importance of HTML, and the important concepts, that frequently used concept like the class, ID, the table, and then the forms, and so many things that are really important. And after completion of the HTML part, we'll discuss about the CSS, that is the beautification of the HTML. So after that, we'll discuss about the Bootstrap. This is the framework, and we use the framework. That framework means we have the collection of the class and object into one package, and we can use that class and objects using that only using the name of that class. So we do not need to write our code from the scratch. So this is the beautification of the framework, and the Bootstrap provides us the awesome framework. And we'll discuss about the JavaScript. You can say it's a scripting language, or you can say the programming language, because it has the Node.js as backend. So we can say it is also the programming language. So after completion of this fourth topic, we'll discuss about the another term, that is ASP.NET Core MVC. But before this ASP.NET Core MVC, we'll discuss about the database also. And after completion of the 5 topics, that is HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, database, and then we'll discuss about the ASP.NET Core MVC. And you can see here is a concept of MVC, and inside the model you can talk about the database, and then the C# in the view you can talk about the HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, and you can say the controller also it is related to C# and database. So we'll discuss details in the ASP.NET Core MVC course. But before reaching into this course, we'll discuss the detail about the HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, and database. So if you talk, if you are going to learn about the .NET framework, or you can say the ASP.NET Core, there are so many terms that makes you confused. So we'll discuss each and every topics in the video series of the ASP.NET course. So stay tuned with me. So we'll discuss about the .NET is different things, .NET framework is different things, .NET Core is different things, ASP.NET is different things, and ASP.NET MVC, ASP.NET Web API, .NET Core, this all terms are different. And this also ASP.NET Core Web API also different things. And if you talk about the ASP.NET Core Web API, then this, if you want to learn this course, then you don't need to know about the front-end part. But if you want to learn the ASP.NET Core MVC, then you may have knowledge, or you may have some concepts about the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap. This may help to build up your knowledge. So I'm not going to start this course directly, so that I'm creating the concepts of the C#, HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, and JavaScript and database. And completion of these 5 courses. So we'll start about the ASP.NET Core MVC, and the completion of the ASP.NET Core MVC will again start about the ASP.NET Core Web API course. So let's start, and gonna start our new course series. So I'm very excited to start the new course, and we'll start, and first of all we'll discuss about the HTML course in the next video series. Thank you.